All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my
Morning.
webinar. My name is Terry.
I'm Jane. Nice to meet y'all.
We are both from the United States. I'm from Seattle in the Northwest, all the way up in the corner, almost to Canada. And how about you, Jane? Where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from upstate New York, in the north of the state of New York, from a city called Syracuse.
I know where
Very cold.
Syracuse is. I know where Syracuse is. So Seattle's not that cold. Seattle is actually, the climate in Seattle is a lot like the climate here in Florence. Hi, Valentina, welcome back. Andrea, Davide, Julia, Benedetta, welcome everybody.
Look at that. Hey, I see somebody from Calgary. I love Calgary. Valentina.
I have some friends
I
in
love
Calgary.
her. Do you?
I
Awesome.
do.
Look at this Padova. Hey, big cheer out for Davide from Padova. It's the first place I came to in Italy when I was 20 years old. I love Padova.
Excellent. All right, Nicole from Ferrara. My ex-boyfriend's dad lived in Ferrara.
Beautiful city. I saw it this summer. Wonderful. Ferrara. Unbelievable.
All right, so welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking about career day. So we're going to be reviewing some workplace language, the use of for and since, and we're going to be describing our jobs. So while Jane and I describe our jobs for you, over here in the chat bar, why don't you start telling us what you do and maybe describe a little bit of your job. So
Awesome. Nice. I like that.
Jane and I are obviously teachers, and we spend a lot of our day face-to-face interacting with students and talking about grammar and vocabulary and structure and questions. Jane, what do you think the most difficult part of our job is?
The most difficult part of our job, I think, is helping students to understand the use of grammar. I think that the verbal part is easier. I think that the explanation of how to use the grammar in everyday situations can be very difficult, yes. And you, Terry, what do you think is the most difficult part of your job?
Well, I think that the most difficult part, I do agree grammar is difficult, but I think the most difficult part for me is that every student learns a little bit differently. And sometimes I can explain something one way and one person goes, oh, I get it. And two other people.
I agree because we all have different learning styles, and that you're absolutely right. And it's important to connect with each student using their particular, what their needs could be. So yes, I agree with you, Terry. Very good point.
We have to adapt, and often right at the moment if we want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Maria, civil law. We have an interior designer, specialist in fashion design. Medical
dentist.
Biology research. Oh my God, you must be smart. I'm going to shut up now.
I work at a chemical factory. Benedetta, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Isabella graduated in architecture and intern in an architectural firm. My boyfriend is a partner in an architectural firm here in Florence. So
nice.
We just finished our webinar on architecture, and it's probably time to get started on today's career day. So let's go to our first slide. So career day. In this focus activity, describing your job, workplace language, and for and since. All right, so are you ready to play along with us? I'm going to ask you some questions, and we're going to be looking for your answers over here in the chat bar. First question, Jane, can you read that for us?
Number one, in the EU, roughly what percentage of employees are women?
I know in America, it was really low up until about 20 years ago, and it's begun to climb. But in the EU, what do you think, Jane? Do you think that it's even men and women?
No, I don't.
No, I don't
Can we see the
either. So does anyone have a... What's that?
What are our options? I'm not seeing the options.
There are no options. We just have to guess.
Oh, okay.
No, there are options. You're right. My bad. Sometimes I mess up.
That's okay. We've got
Maria.
3 options.
Maria, 40%. So 46 or 48%. What do you think? 45. David says 45. So
maybe, David, what do you think? Yeah.
All right. You're right. It is B. Valentina, David, way to go. Okay, 46% of employees in the EU are women. Excellent, everybody. How about number 2? What is the average retirement age in Europe? I know in America now it's risen. It's 67 years old now in America, isn't it, Jane?
You know, I don't know. That I don't know at all. I know that I know what the average retirement age in Europe is, but in America, I have no idea. You know?
In America, it's 67 now.
Oh, really?
Because they raised the age that you have to be to get your Social Security.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think it is? 60, 65, or 70 here in Europe? So looking for...
What do you guys think?
Looking for some answers, 60, 65, or 70.
Or 70.
God, I hope I don't have to wait until I'm 70.
But in Italy, you might have to. I'm sorry.
I'm already tired. So, all right.
Oh, look, everybody's answering the same thing. Benedetta and Fabio both said 65. Nicole said 65.
All right. And the answer is 65. Way to go, everybody.
All right.
All right. Can you read number 3 for us?
How many times will the average American change jobs in their lifetime?
All right. So just to be fair, in America, at least in my family, we all started working when we were 14. I had my first job when I was 14. I had a different job when I was 16. I had a different job when I went to college when I was 20. And then after university, I had a different job. So in America, we begin working really young. So do those jobs as a teenager count? What do you think, Jane?
You know what? I think yes, but I mean, I think also you have a whole different mentality. In the US, we tend to change jobs. We don't stay our whole life doing the same job. So I think you have to think that it's a different society, a different place. You know, Italy's different. You if you find a job here, you usually stay with it.
See, my grandfather was he came out of college and he went right into the Air Force, and from the Air Force he went to work for Boeing. He had 2 jobs in his entire life.
Yeah, and there are people like that in the US, but I think the majority, there's a sense of growing and changing that it's a little different. I think in Italy, you tend to not move around as much as you do in the United States.
And we do. I think because the US is so much bigger, we do move around a lot as well. It's not just that we change jobs.
Yeah,
We move.
absolutely.
So we've got a lot of responses, Jane. We've got a lot of people saying 5 to 7 and 4 to 6. So what's the answer?
Oh, I think it's, what do you think, Terry? I think it's C. What do you think, Terry?
I'm pretty sure it's C. And it is.
All right. Okay.
All right. Now, our last question. Will you read for us?
What percentage of the employed European workforce is under 25 years old?
Now, this is an interesting question because I have read a lot of countries, a lot of cities in the US and the EU are willing to pay young workers to come because the population is aging, and so the people aren't having children as young as they used to. And so from what I've heard, we have a shrinking youth and a growing aged population. Have you heard something like that?
Yeah, I have. I've also heard that in Italy, especially on this question, I think you need to look at the word European. Because if we were to think only in Italian, in what's happening in Italy, I think the number is going to be different. So you have to think of more of a European workforce. In Italy,
I lost you. There you are.
Employment.
I'm losing you, Jane. Okay, so
I'm back.
I know, Valentina. Thank you. I know, Valentina, it seems really strange for Italians that we change jobs so many times, but you have to remember too that the United States is so huge that if we decide to, say we get married, we meet someone, we get married, we go to live with their family, we might move all the way across the country. Or, for example, I was in the military, and so I lived in many different states. And then when so my boyfriend or husband would have to change jobs if I got transferred. So, all right, let's go back to question 4, though. This percentage of employed European workforce under 25 years old. We've got some answers here. In my opinion, the percentage is 25 to 30, maybe Europe A, 25 to 30, maybe A. And you are correct. It is A. All right. Now let's talk about our jobs. So Jane, what are some jobs that you think fun to do?
Oh my gosh, my dream job would be, one of the students said that was their job. I would love to be an interior designer.
Are you artistic?
Well, my degree is in art history and I have a master's in painting conservation, but wow. The point is that I have always wanted to be an interior designer. And so it sounds to me like a really fun job.
It does. Yeah. And I like to play at it at home, but I would never want to be responsible for someone else's money. And then in the end, having them go, and if I do something with their money and I'm like, this is the most beautiful, and they walk in and go,
horrible.
So
how about you? What job do you think sounds really fun to do?
I would love to be an author. I would really.
Oh, you're a writer. You like to write. Huh?
I do. I'm not creative enough to be an artist, but I do love to write. I've written one book that I self-published on Amazon, but I would really love to begin writing fiction. But you know, you have to have some money in the bank in order to sit and stay home and start writing. So, what
You
are
never know. Huh? What are some other jobs that could be fun to do, though? Let's make a little list of jobs that sound fun to do. For
oh,
you, Terry, give me another two. Give me another two jobs.
Davide said he would like to be an astronaut, Valentina a sailor, and Alessia
Famous actor. Ah.
an actress and archaeologist. Now, what kind of archaeologist?
Oh my
Are,
God.
are we talking archaeologists like Indiana Jones, or are we talking archaeologists like Ross Geller on Friends? Because, there's a difference. An architect. I hope, Isabella,
Oh.
you will reach your goal. Don't worry about it. You will reach your goal. Just have faith in yourself. So another job that I think would be fun is something that I think is along the lines of what you understand how to do, and that would be to restore art. To take something that was vibrant and over years has diminished, and to make it new again, I think would just be so rewarding.
Yeah. Formula One driver, love it. Davide, fantastic.
Psychologist, Julia, you'd like to be a psychologist? Oh my goodness. For me, that would be, I think if I had to listen to people's problems all day, I think I would just go home so sad. I don't know how I would distance myself from.
Actually, I think that's a very interesting, for me, that would be very interesting. Yeah. Oh, look at Valentina Leda. I'd like to be part of a crew and sailing around the world. Wow.
But Julia, I applaud you, because we need people like you, because I need people like you. So, sail around the world. That would just be amazing. I like Tomb Raider, archaeologists like Tomb Raider. Now you're talking, Alessia. All right. Now, let's go on the other side of this. Which jobs would you never do? Which jobs would you never do? I could never be a doctor. And
I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
Being in the military, I have seen my share of blood up close.
And you can't do it.
But I just, to be honest, I get, and yeah, I think the patients would have a really hard time if I vomited on, yes. So
yeah, a job I wouldn't do, and I know this sounds terrible, but to be a garbage collector or a refuse worker, for me it would be tough. Just
now,
a job that
the smells, or because of the actual physical part of the work, or
I think it's a little bit of everything. It's just something that would be, and I have a lot of respect for the people that do it. I mean, I really do. I think I have a lot of respect. So it's just, I would have trouble doing that as a job. Yeah, the smell and dealing with trash, and
Valentina, you would never be a teacher. Why not? It's a wonderful job. It's so much fun. I love it. What about you, Jane?
Yeah, but I understand that there's people that just would not, it's not their, you have to be a certain type of person, I think, to be a teacher. So I understand that. It's not for everybody. No?
That's true. Yeah, it's definitely, it's not for everybody, but I absolutely love it. So
I love it too, but I mean, it's like some people would never, like you said before, being a doctor for you, but other people are like, yes, that's what I want to do. I think it's very subjective,
It is. It is. So if you could own your own business, what would it be?
Ooh. I know exactly what it would be. How about you? Do you know, Terry, what you would own if you could own your own business? What it would be?
Well,
Do you know?
I would own a bakery.
You would? No.
I love to cook, but more importantly, I love to make sweets. And I make
Very nice.
not to brag, but I make the best cheesecake on the planet. And
Really?
if I could just go to work at 4 in the morning and bake breads and pies and cakes and cookies, I would be really happy. I would I'd probably be really fat too. What about you, Jane?
I would own a store for not furniture and things for the home.
Okay. So the best part of your job, I think, would be going to all of the different places, far off countries to search for just the right pieces to sell.
Yeah.
That would be
And
amazing.
also I like to work with people too, and I like the contact with the public. And yeah, I think that I would like to have a home goods store, but kind of maybe with a little twist to it. No?
I think that would be really fun. I think that would be really fun. Now, this last question is really interesting, really interesting. If you had to choose between a satisfying job that didn't pay a lot and a well-paid but unsatisfying job, which would you choose? I think we both know the answer, seeing as what we do.
I think this question is a very funny question because it's not realistic.
Why not?
Because it depends on your situation. I mean, if you have a family and you have to support your family, you might have to choose. I think that you can't answer that. It's a very hard question to answer. What do you guys think? I mean, it's great to say that you would choose a satisfying job, but if you have to support a family, you might have to choose one that paid better, that you don't like as much. I don't know.
I'd like to take a boat and take people. I was just reading something and it went away.
Sardinia. Yes. Who said that? Valentina, I'm coming.
Like to take a boat and take people around the Sea of Sardinia. I did that a couple of years ago, my first summer in Italy. My friend and I, only 3 days though, so we're coming to see you soon, Valentina. We went for 3 nights and we left the harbor in Cagliari and we went and we dropped anchor in this little bay. And we just, during the day, we would kind of go around. During the night, we slept on the boat. It was fabulous. Nicole, Nicole, you and I, we can make a bakery together. You love cooking. I love cooking. We can do this together. All right.
In Florence?
In Florence, yes. All right. If I lived in Australia, I would choose a satisfying job, like helping animals. And with the fires down there right now, Davide, they really need that. So excellent. I prefer the more satisfying job. Maybe money will arrive. That's the hope, isn't it?
That is the hope.
In Italy, it's not possible.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I have always ended up taking the jobs that were satisfying in some way, but the money never came. Just so I learned. I learned to appreciate living within my budget. My budget has changed, but
I hear you.
You know, we do what we have to do. All right. So difficult to answer without a real situation. At first time, I agree. Well, everybody cares about money. Some people care more about money. Some people care less. But yeah, We all care about money. It's true. All right. So now, let's play a game, all right? We're going to talk about word groups. So this is a great way to increase your vocabulary. You can take a base word, and by changing the prefix, adding something before, or changing a suffix, the part that comes after, you can take one word and make it 2, 3, even 4 words sometimes. So let's look at the word apply. What does it mean to apply as a verb? What is apply? Apply. So if I want a new job, I submit my CV and I answer the questions perhaps online, or I complete a form. That means I apply for the job. Can anyone tell us some words that come from that base word apply? Exactly.
Let's see what you can.
Good.
All right. So give us some words that have that base word, root word in it.
So let's see. Apply is the verb. I apply for a job to send a CV, as Fabio said. Excellent. So what is the form that you must complete? What is that called? Anybody? How about, and if you want to work ahead with the words employ, manager, and work, please go ahead and send us those words too, because there is a little time lag between when you write and when we see your messages. Apply application, Valentina.
Oh, Valentina. Well done.
All right.
Well done, Valentina.
Application is the form, and applicant is the person who completes the form, the person who is asking for the job. All right. Employ, grow up in the business. Grew up in the business. So, Jane, can you help explain employ?
Employ would be where you tend to somebody that gives you a job. Well, that's part of the word. Employ is really
It's a difficult word.
job. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It means to put somebody in a position. To put somebody in a position.
be careful with that one.
Yeah. Someone who works for others. Well, that's that. There we've got one of the words.
Oh, so exactly, good. So if you work for someone else,
you are considered.
You are the employee, as Julia said. Now, Nicole, the employer, is the person who employs the employee. So the employer employs the employee. How's that for a tongue twister? All right.
Whatever team employed.
So the boss
and
is the employer, Valentina. The boss is the employer. The person who works is the employee. Employed, if you are part of a team. Good, you can also be employed alone. So, for example, if someone needs, let's imagine that I need to paint this room. I might hire, assumere, employ a person to come paint my room. He works alone, but while he is working for me, he is the employee. All right? Now, how about employment? Employment. Having a job, that is employment. The employment, we talk about the employment rate. That's how many people have jobs. We also talk about the unemployment rate, which is the number of people unemployed. Unemployed, disoccupato. How about employable? Jane, what do you think? Employable.
I think it means somebody who is able to work in that position. They would be employable, or they are able to work in some way.
Good. That's employable. Now, what about unemployable?
I think somebody who, would not have the skills or characteristics that they needed to fill that position, or any position.
As Valentina said, unemployable is the negative sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So perhaps somebody who begins drinking with a little vodka with their breakfast might be unemployable. Exactly, Valentina. Not okay to get the job. Excellent. All right. So what about manage? We use manage in so many different ways, don't we, Jane?
Yes, we do.
Not just at work. Wow. So what about manage? And what are some words that we can make from manage? So,
well, how about a person that works in a position of authority in a company?
Did you see what Julia wrote? Manage, manager, management.
Oh, Julia, you're on this.
And Fabio, we can use manage to say how we organize our work. Oh, great answers.
Okay.
Way to go, guys.
Very flexible, that word.
That's
we can use it for many different things.
Also, Jane, can you manage to tell us one or two other words we might use with manage? Can you manage that?
I can manage that. Thank you, Terry. I think unmanageable.
Excellent.
Would be a good one. And is it a positive or a negative with un? What did we say before? That un is a prefix that is
negative.
Right, exactly. It's negative.
So,
and then,
wow, in a position in managerial, manageable. Wow.
Manageable. Oh my God. Okay.
Wow. Really great, everybody.
Words.
Now, there's one word here that we didn't get, and I absolutely think we need to talk about it. That's mismanage. Mismanage. This is also something negative. So imagine that there is a really important project that needs to get done. And the manager puts his son in charge of the project. Now, the son is still at university and has no experience managing projects. And he delegates work, he gives assignments to different people, and it's not their correct field. This is perhaps to mismanage. The president mismanaged money. Absolutely, Valentina. That is not mismanage. Good, really good. All right, last one here on our page. How about work? How many different words can we come up with for work?
A lot.
Worker is like employee, worker. So we have the EE, exactly, good, Nicole, worker. You got it at the same time as I did, fabulous. Oh, Jane, what is the word? What is the word for, okay, all of us teachers at MyS, we are the work of the company. All of the people in Italy who have jobs are part of the work.
Well, I think, do you want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
I think it's the workforce.
I think it's the workforce too. Excellent.
That's a nice word, actually. I think that's a great word, and it's not on our list. I really like that.
All right, so let's look at our list. What is to rework? What is to rework? Re is a great prefix. Re means to do again. So if you have to rework something, imagine we have a project and at the last minute, the customer wants to change something. We have to rework the project. How about overwork, Jane? Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sometimes I feel a little bit overworked. I'm working a lot of hours, maybe sometimes too many. So I can feel overworked. Over again, here we have is a prefix. And in this case, it has also a little bit of a negative connotation. So it means maybe too much, huh?
Exactly.
Overworked.
Overworked. Now, Julia said, repeat a work that you've done, and that is exactly it, to rework. Isabella said, workout, which isn't on our list, and it's outside of your normal work, but to work out is that's a great word to use. Workout.
Excellent. I love that. I love the workout thing. Isabella, good job.
So workplace. Let's talk a little about our workplace, because usually Jane and I go to the school. We go there every day, and that's our workplace. But today, and I think for the foreseeable the near future, our workplace is very different. You can see in the background, this is my living room. So my workplace is my
kitchen. This is part of my kitchen. So my workplace today is my home, and Terry's is her home.
Exactly. Yes. Ooh, Workable, Julia, that's excellent. Workable is another. Yeah. What is Workable? So we have this crisis in Italy, and our school wanted to find a way that we could keep in touch with all of you out there and to keep progressing with your English studies. So we had to find a workable solution. Workable meaning to be able to be worked, to be done. So a workable solution. It's more comfortable than the usual workplace. Fabio, yeah, I'll agree with that. It is. And I can cook my own lunch here, which I really love. All right.
Oh, I know, right? We have to be positive, everybody.
We do. Stay positive, stay strong. So, but Julia asked, people addicted to work. People addicted
to work.
That's
good.
A
workaholic.
Workaholic. So again.
Okay, so it's not workaholism, Julia. It's workaholic. Workaholic. I'll write it out.
No, I did. I wrote it.
Okay. So also, it's very interesting. Alessi said, why do we say smart work and not homework? Well, because homework we use for things that when children come home from school and do their assignments, that's called homework. Okay.
But also adults, Jane, our students have homework.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Homework is the things that you bring home to do from school. So if it could be university, it could be homework. And it's not cleaning the house. That's not homework.
That's housework.
That's housework. Okay, so that's why we don't say, we say smart work is what we're using now for people that are working out of their homes. Okay.
And it's smart because you don't commute, so you're not polluting the planet. You're minimizing your carbon footprint. There's a lot, but we'll go on to. So let's go forward with this slide, shall we? We only have 10 minutes left. Time flies when we're out here with you guys. So exactly, Valentina, homework is for students. So we have a list of words here, not just apply, employ, manage, work, but all of these others. And Jane and I will read these sentences without the answer. And I want you to use number 1 and the answer, number 2 and the answer. See how well you understand all of these new words that we've talked about today. So, number 1, have you ever trained any new? Okay, so when you respond, write number 1 and your answer. But remember, you might have to conjugate a verb. You might change singular to plural. So give us your answer. Jane, can you read number 2?
In your opinion, have there been any recent situations that have been?
Good. Number 3, is your company accepting for new? And remember, some of these you have to change singular to plural. You have to conjugate maybe to third person. So how about number 4, Jane?
Number 4, have you ever felt, what did you do?
That could be many things. All right, number 5, what would make an for your type of job? All right, so we've got some responses for number 1, and there's only one problem. The responses, you chose the right word, but Jane, what do they need to do to that word?
Oh, I think we have to put on a plural form in that word.
I think we do too. So can you give them the correct sentence, please?
Have you ever trained any new employees?
That's correct. Great work, everybody, choosing the right word. Remember that any new, we're going to have to use plural. All right, we're getting some answers to number 2. So, in your opinion, have there been any recent situations that have been? There we go. Exactly, Maria, we need you to just add a prefix or a suffix, maybe change that up a little bit. Okay. Valentina says mismanaged. All right, so let's see what our answer is. Well done, Valentina.
Valentina.
Well done. Okay, so have been, we've got that present, present perfect. Have been. This is a present perfect passive. Wow. Okay. That's difficult to say, by the way. Okay. So number 3. Anyone giving us some answers to number 3? Jane, this one's difficult. What do you think?
Not easy. Is your company accepting for new?
All right. Do we have any? Ooh, Valentina, Nicole. Let's see. I'm seeing applications and employment. Applications, employments. Now remember, employment is a noun, but not going to make it plural. Okay, application. I'm seeing everything, the first one, application. Do you agree, Jane?
I think you're going to need to use the plural on that one also, because we're not accepting just one. We're accepting many.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. How about that last word? I see workplace, rework, employment, employments, employee, application for new workplace. You can't apply. The company is the workplace. So you don't apply for a new workplace. You apply for new, what do you think it is?
Oh, Maria, I think maybe I think Maria might have. She said employment. I think for new, you could.
But job isn't one of our choices, Fabio.
No, yeah. We're looking, our choices are the words on the left, everybody. Just to make it a little bit easier. This is quite complicated, all right? For new employees. Okay, so I need to say that I think you can also say, for me, you could also say, is your company accepting applications for new employment? I think you could say that, right, Terry? It's not incorrect. And this one I've thought about before because I've seen it before, and I think that you could say also that because it's still, I don't know. For me, you could also say for new employment.
You could say for new employment, but that's to use that umbrella of applications for in general. Employees is to speak specifically of the people.
Yeah, but I think that most, you could also say that in this sentence.
Absolutely.
So for those of you who answered employment, for me, it's acceptable also. The sentence works. Okay.
It does. It does. It just changes the meaning a little bit, I think. And it's okay. It's still quite acceptable. So I think Seamus just said that we were unmanageable. Well, Seamus,
Wait a second. I would be a great manager, but some of my colleagues are unmanageable. Now, Seamus, what is that?
I think he's about to see what unmanageable is.
Yes.
All right, let's go on to number 4 because we've only got a couple of minutes left. So have you ever felt, what did you do? Yes, I have.
Oh, yeah, Julia, Nicole, fantastic.
Valentina, have you ever felt unemployable? Oh, goodness. No, don't feel unemployable. No. You have too much to offer. Have you ever felt, I see overworked.
Overworked. Yes.
Overworked.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people who feel, especially in Italy, many people feel overworked. People work very hard in Italy. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we have 1 minute left, so let's go on to our last question. All right. So what would make an for your type of job? We need 2 words. And they're both going to be singular because that article, an, is to tell us it's a singular. So what would make an, this is really difficult.
Yeah, this is a hard one, Harry. I think there's more than one, but we'll try to get it. What would make an, I think our choices are between the base word apply and the base word employ. So it's going to be one of those.
No, it's going to be a word from one of those, right?
Yeah, it's going to be one. Those are the base words and are the root words. So what would make an?
Now, it can't be manager because an, when do we use an? Exactly. It's when the word begins with the vowel. So it's got to begin with A or E from our choices. All right, Julia, Excellent. We need to reverse those two words, though. All right.
Oh, Julia, I think we're talking about a person. So it's not going to be an application because we're talking about a person.
All right. And we're talking about a person who does not have the job yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the word for a person who wants the job but doesn't have
Well
it?
done, Terry. Yes.
That would be an applicant.
Very good. That's great. Make an
All
applicant not good, let's say, for that job.
So
Davide, what did you put?
unemployable, Julia. Unemployable, Davide.
Yeah.
Both have the right answer.
Good.
All right.
Excellent, guys.
Now, really sorry to do this to you all of a sudden, but our time expired a minute ago. So thank you for sharing your morning
so
with
much.
us. And there will be another set of 8 to 10 of focuses 8 to 10, beginning at 1 o'clock until 2 o'clock. The topic is depend on. And after that, from 2 to 3, the topic is experience.
Yeah.
Have you ever? So thank you all for joining us.
Thank you all very much.
Buon appetito, and maybe we'll see you later. Thanks, Jane.
All right, guys. Thank you, Terry. Bye. Bye, everybody.